We've got bonus night racing outside St. Louis from Gateway and Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's INDY NXT by Firestone in the OUTFRONT Showdown for the top step on the ladder to get to IndyCar. Scheduled for mid to late afternoon. Heavy rain in the morning through the early afternoon, but we are dry at the moment, and it is a very comfortable 78 degrees, but we need to get it going as quickly as possible because there is a threat of rain coming later tonight. Thanks everyone for joining us. Kevin Lee, Charlie Kimball, Georgia Hannaberry, ready to go racing. 75 laps on the second and final oval of the INDY NXT Championship, round 11 of 14. The championship is still in play, and we are just about ready to get started. Drivers are strapped in. It's time for the command.
Marshall for the INDY NXT by Firestone OUTFRONT Showdown at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Junior Account Executive for OUTFRONT Media, Selena Thomas.
Welcome, INDY NXT fans. On behalf of OUTFRONT, drivers, start your engines!
$15 is fired, ready to go. Tonight on the oval, as part of the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 IndyCar weekend, practice completes tonight, qualifying for IndyCar tomorrow, racing at 3:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock, and they roll away, and this is how they will line up. There was a practice session in the early evening, but the starting lineup with no qualifying set on entrant points. So the championship 2 in the front row, Christian Rasmussen, and the most recent winner, Hunter McElroy.
And Nolan Siegel starting inside of row 2, had an incident in practice. They got that car repaired. Jacob Abel was so fast, the other oval on this year's schedule at Iowa. We'll see if he can move forward from that second row starting spot.
Row 3 has Louis Foster, who is a race winner this season, and James Rowe coming off his best career finish of second and at a 4th place finish the round before that.
Reese Gold, one of the rookies in this year's field, inside of previous race winner this year, Daniel Frost, outside of row 4 for HMD Motorsports.
Row 5 sees Rasmus Lind, who had a couple of late spins in practice, and Josh Pearson, who is finishing up his rookie season, which is still not a full season. Looking forward to next year.
Last year's winner here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Matthew Brabham inside of row 6. Ernie Francis Jr., the other car collected in that incident with Siegel.
Jamie Chadwick is coming off another top 10 result. Christian Bogle starting on the outside in row 7. Row 8 sees Colin Kaminsky, who's back for his final scheduled start of the season. And we are going to be set to go in just a moment. Let's get some final thoughts downstairs from Georgia Hannaberry.
Well, something interesting about your pole sitter, Christian Rasmussen, is that every race this season, I have asked him if his approach to the weekend has changed, and he's told me every time the approach is the same, to extract the most out of the car and win races. But this time, he told me, I am in championship mode. I'm going to take less risk and be as smart as possible while still pushing to win races. And he's going to have a good spot to do that from the pole position.
It is the 4th time that he started on the pole this season. What's going to take to win, Charlie?
Well, it's all about tackling traffic. It's a short track. We saw Christian Rasmussen do such a good job of that to get the win at Iowa, and consistency is king. It's about getting to the end of the race and having those Firestone tires, that grip left to get the win.
Ready to go racing, this time by. They are lined up by 2 by 2, heading into turn 3 down the backstretch. Black car is Rasmussen, white car is McElroy. Nolan Siegel, row 2. The red and white car on the outside is Jacob Abel. Lined up by entrant points. Strong cars up front. Championship still in play. Coming around on the main straightaway. 75 laps. Oval racing for the final time. It's time to go from Gateway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is green. Rasmussen has the early jump. Siegel looking into the inside, trying to keep his championship hopes alive. Siegel, McElroy side by side. McElroy's gonna nose in front.
Looked like Matty Brabham 3 wide on the high side, coming through 2, trying to take advantage of that early speed. His experience, he won here last year. He knows what it takes. Those entrant point qualifying means he starts a little further back.
Brabham was one of those desperately hoping there would be a chance to qualify. But instead, he has to start on entry points further back. Here's James Rowe in that blue and white Top Con car, trying to get around Siegel. And Daniel Frost is going to swing around the outside. Can Frost pick up 2 and 1? Clear.
Going 3 wide, clear-ish on all of that. Nolan Siegel stuck in the middle between 1 and 2. Got a little squeezed by James Rowe going in there. Now down into 3 and 4. Louis Foster gets his nose almost taken off by Jacob Abel.
But Matthew Brabham is still coming. 6 in the first couple of laps. Now he's working on James Rowe on that Juncos Hollinger car. That's why Ricardo Juncos brought him in. Let's show everyone what Brabham could do. Last year's winner, let's see what the team can do. Brabham trying to pick up another spot.
And this is the time of the race you can run that high line. Those Firestones aren't throwing off those marbles yet. You get outside that groove later in the race and it'll put you right in the wall. Matthew Brabham knows he can do it early on, take advantage, go forward. It only gets harder to pass the more things settle into a rhythm.
James Rowe has held him off for now in 4th. And then Daniel Frost, also a big mover. He has moved up so far 5 positions. That's him in the orange and white car.
That's experience and confidence. He knew the car was underneath him. He knew he could put it 2.5, 3 lanes high. The grip would be there. He could carry that momentum all the way around the outside and move forward those 5 spots. It looks like Matthew Brabham's lost a little bit of his momentum. Maybe that car was really good off the jump. It's not looking quite as consistent or as quick 5 laps into this race.
There's Brabham running in 5th. Siegel has stabilized in 6th right behind him. Abel, who's been strong on the ovals, is also within range. Looks like he might have a little bit of a run.
Hunter McElray running that 1 second behind Christian Rasmussen. We go on board here with Jacob Abel through 3 and 4, and you can watch the difference in banking and difference in steering angles the 2 ends of this racetrack. It's a lot like a paperclip. Down here in 1 and 2, he'll almost use the brakes, downshift a couple. Look how big the banking, how much steering wheel he's got in. The apex is really tight, big load on the body and in the car there through 3 and 4.
No pressure.
Spotter giving him some information about where cars are. Look how much less he turns the wheel through 3 and 4. A little bit of lift, just fighting that grip, fighting that understeer. He was not particularly confident. I saw some big moments from that car in practice. He's hoping they've got the balance better. It's a very different track conditions. It continues to cool off throughout the evening. Louis Foster to the outside, trying to work on Jacob Abel.
And he's going to take a peek to the inside now in that blue and white Andretti car. Jacob Abel, who finished 2nd on the oval at Iowa, the only other oval this season after winning the pole, and almost chased down for the win, chasing Rasmussen at the end of that race.
Looking for clean air, free back, all clear.
I think that was the communication to Abel. That sounded like Spencer Piggott talking to him. He has gapped Foster just a little bit. Now Foster gets another run.
There's a lot of momentum shifts. You see that rubber band as people get close, get into that dirty air, lose the grip, slide back. The car behind closes up, same thing. And you see this almost an accordion effect throughout the corners. That aerodynamic grip is so important in the cockpit. And as a driver, when you get dirty air, you get that aero wash, your hands get really busy really quickly. Louis Foster still trying to work. I think he's got a faster car here than Jacob Abel. He just has to time it right.
One back.
Here comes Foster.
Side, side, side.
Oh, so close. Did they touch? If they did,
touch. I saw tire smoke.
and Foster is still in it.
Clear.
Abel hangs on to the spot. And that's the battle for 7th, and here comes Foster again.
Side.
And this time, he'll get it.
Louis Foster really likes to run that lane and a half up through 1 and 2, but Jacob Abel's got the big momentum now. Tries to go around the outside into 3 and 4. It's less grip and the longer way around.
Oh, that's so close.
I couldn't watch, Kevin. That was much too close for comfort.
So did
Closing right.
Abel back out of that to keep from crashing?
Join a different race.
Because I don't know how they didn't come together there.
That was incredibly tight. The contact through 3 and 4, just a little bit of tire rub. Let's remember, in open-wheeled cars, rubbing is not racing. Rubbing is crashing. They may not have had the accident. We may not have had the yellow, but that was a crash.
Let's see this from a different angle now.
And Louis Foster defends. He's allowed to do that. Jacob Abel goes to the high line. And Louis Foster just delays his turn in to get back on the preferred line. Hangs Jacob Abel up high. This is...
Side.
You don't get away with that. Definitely not more than once.
That's pretty impressive by both drivers to survive first that one. Eventually Foster gets by. Abel now trying to come back.
That closing rate is really aggressive. I think Jacob Abel thought Louis Foster would be turning into the corner. Jacob Abel started to bend down towards the apex, and Louis hadn't turned in yet, so that's why it looked so aggressive at that point.
Meanwhile, let's go back up to the front, starting on championship points. So Christian Rasmussen was up by 33 on Hunter McElroy as the day began, and they still are in that position, but with points scored, if he wins the race, it would jump up to a 46-point advantage for Christian Rasmussen with still 3 rounds to go.
That was a big wiggle from Christian Rasmussen. Apex at 2. I saw a lot of his gloves in the cockpit. And on an oval, that's a really, really bad sign. That car very lively under Christian Rasmussen. You know Hunter McElroy saw that. The gap went from 1.3 seconds to about 0.8 of a second. Last lap, Christian Rasmussen was not quick compared. He was 1.5 miles, 2 miles an hour slower than Hunter McElroy that time. I think we'll get a replay of it here. Watch this car and watch those hands. Those white gloves, you can see him correct twice, 3 times, and then back into it. If that happens later in the race with the marble buildup outside the racing line, I mean, we saw it in the NTT IndyCar Series practice earlier tonight. Watch that car get sideways once, twice. It's dirt tracking on a pavement oval, Kevin.
Rasmussen and McElroy.
He's still really loose every time through 2 big corrections.
Are the drivers with, I think you'd say, the most experience, although certainly Matt Brabham is going to factor in that as well. But of the full-time drivers in the championship, Rasmussen and McElroy are the ones that have the most experience. As Foster is now going to take a look on Nolan Siegel. This is for 6th. And Foster is going to get that spot and continue to move forward.
Louis Foster really, and Jacob Abel taking advantage of that momentum swing, going down the inside of Nolan Siegel up to turn 3. Excuse me, that was into turn 1 and turn 2 there. Louis Foster went around the outside of Nolan Siegel in 3 and 4. He's got a really good race car underneath him.
Let's check in with Georgia.
Well, things are starting to settle down just a little bit. Let's get an update from AJ Smith. As things kind of settle down a little bit, can we get an update from the communication aspect from the team, your drivers? Rasmussen sitting in the lead, and Daniel Frost, wow, he had a very solid start to this race.
First of all, it's really hard to hear you because it's very loud here, but I'll go with the Rasmussen first. The guys are telling him to take care of his tires a little bit. We don't want to repeat what we did in Iowa, so we're just going to try and maintain the gap here and hope that the good Firestone stay underneath him all day and he can come off with the win here. As far as Frost, what a great start he had, right? He jumped to the high side and did what he had to do. I think Siegel's just feeling the waters here after the crash in practice there. Didn't get a whole lot of track time. So I think he's just feeling it out and going to bring this thing home today.
And now each and every HMD car are running a specific sticker this weekend. Can you talk a little bit more about it?
Sure, that's for Boston Eckler. Boston Eckler is a 6-year-old that's suffering from leukemia. He is the nephew of one of our guys. So we thought it was only right to put the sticker on all the cars. And if you're in Brownsburg, you're going to see those stickers all over the place.
Thank you, AJ. Insight from AJ Smith.
Good cause. We're rooting for you, Boston. Hope you are able to stay up late and watch on Peacock tonight with us.
Nothing better than on a Saturday night watching some race cars.
That's in my neck of the woods as well, so we'll look for those stickers in the Hendricks County area. Rasmussen in front. He's picked up another second on McElroy now, and then running in third is Daniel Frost. Let's listen to some radio.
All right, Daniel, that's 15 down, 60 to go. The pace is good. Just keep taking care of the tires. Take care of the tires. Let me know when they need fluid.
Could you copy that?
I had a hard time understanding something about the pace, and
let me know.
Oh, if I need to push harder, you know, it's not the Joseph Newgarden, I'm just chilling, let me know if I'm chilling too much. But he's also thinking, okay, I'm 5.5 seconds behind my teammate, the leader. What am I going to have to do to chase them down? Am I going to catch them when we catch traffic and work our way through traffic? As Christian Rasmussen's now coming up on 3 cars towards the tail end of the pack that he'll have to work his way through, and that'll allow this car, the orange and white of Daniel Frost, to catch up. It's Louis Foster shoving it in late inside of 3 and 4 of Matthew Brabham.
Foster has picked up a couple of spots in the last few laps and is closing in again on Brabham.
Louis Foster really confident in that car, but we keep hearing the drivers and engineers, oh, Matt Brabham shoved up into the marbles. Jacob Abel says, well, I'll just follow you through. It's been a really effective technique for Jacob Abel to just follow Louis Foster through.
And those two have been very close a couple of other times, and
not just here,
close this time too.
But all season long, they've had some wheel-to-wheel racing that maybe hasn't always worked out cleanly.
There's been a disagreement. Louis had a disagreement with his teammate Hunter McElrea a couple weeks ago as well. McElrea got his first win of the season. Foster's been quick all year long. Doesn't have necessarily the results to show it. He does have a win. He has a couple of other podiums to go along with that, but some really rough results. 14th after qualifying up front the first 2 rounds of the season, at 19th at Detroit, 17th after the contact late at Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago. All right, we've got traffic going right now. You've got an even worse side-by-side racing at the back of the field. That's the DHL car of Jamie Chadwick on the low side and Colin Kaminsky on the high side in an Abel car, and then the leader Rasmussen behind them is going to be looking for a lane. So this is a chance for McElrea, and he's taking advantage of it from 2 seconds back to 3/10 back.
Hunter McElrea got the bit between his teeth. Daniel Frost driving in as well. These guys running side by side up front. That is not what Christian Rasmussen needs to see. He's thinking championship. He doesn't want to get collected in one of their disagreements as he runs really high at the exit of 4.
And they're hoping to stay on the lead lap as well. And Kaminsky wants to get by Chadwick in case a yellow comes out, maybe a reset, and he's going to lose that position and then try to hang on to it. McElrea is going to get by just like that, and now he's there. So it's a reset. And McElrea has a tow, and Rasmussen is still soon going to have to deal with Jamie Chadwick.
We're just about a third of the way through this race. Hunter McElrea's car continues to come alive, and who's looking a little further in the background? The orange and white car, Daniel Frost, taking advantage of that start. He's got a really good car. He drove from over 3.5 seconds behind the leader. Now he's within 2 seconds striking distance, hoping that momentum shift, working their way through traffic, plays into his favor.
Now Rasmussen has found a little more comfortable gap and has shown the pace that he's had throughout this race. McElrea does have the fastest lap of the race by about a 1/2 tenth on Rasmussen. Foster is right behind there as well.
And Hunter McElrea, is the Rookie of the Year last year, really hoped to come in this year, dominate, put his stamp on this championship. And it kind of went off track earlier in the year. It's hard to get that positive momentum, but he's really started to find his feet in the second half of the season, getting that win coming out of the Brickyard Weekend, the Indianapolis Road Course, move it up to second in the points, and now he's just trying to take as many points out of Christian Rasmussen. Rasmussen going high. It will great hands, Christian Rasmussen, but here comes Hunter McElrea with the big momentum shift. It'll take 3 or 4 laps for those marbles to clean off of the 6 cars' tires, and Hunter McElrea goes to the lead.
And remember, Jamie Chadwick is McElrea's teammate. It helps out there by making it difficult for Rasmussen to get by. She very much had that right. Still on the lead lap. I don't imagine Rasmussen feels too good about it, and now he's in danger of losing a spot to the charging Daniel Frost.
Don't forget, Daniel Frost is Christian Rasmussen's teammate, so it has to be clean. But the point shift Now, with Hunter McElroy out front, it's a 25-point lead for Rasmussen instead of 46 points.
And now Frost is going to try to go around the high side. They are side by side, hooked up. Rasmussen hangs on to second for the moment.
Take care of our tires. Long race ahead.
Everyone's talking about tires. I'd be more worried about taking care of the car and making sure it's in one piece. That was awfully close between Daniel Frost and Christian Rasmussen.
So let's see how the lead changed just a moment ago as Rasmussen was trying to clear lap traffic, and then there was another car of Rasmus Lind up in front, and that's what slowed his momentum.
That's what happens.
Yes.
Yep. Jamie Chadwick, as Rasmus Lind comes down just to take his normal line, gets on dirty air, gets on the front wing of Jamie Chadwick. The nose takes off. Christian Rasmussen, one incredible job to keep it off the wall. Watch how busy his hands are. You can see those white gloves. 3, 4 hacks at it.
Wow.
Slides right up along the wall.
So that's nothing out of bounds at all for Jamie Chadwick. She was...
That's short track racing.
Yeah.
That happens. And without her being stacked right up behind Rasmus Lind, you saw Hunter McElroy work his way past Christian Rasmussen and Daniel Frost, the 3 podium cars at the moment, clear that 28 Andretti DHL of Jamie Chadwick. Oh, Daniel Frost, big wiggle in the middle of 1 and 2. These guys have their hands full tonight.
So Daniel Frost has moved up from the start. He got them almost all in the first few laps. He's moved up 4 positions, running in 3rd right now. So Frost won the season opener this season, and he was one of those, I think, came in like a Hunter McElroy, like Rasmussen, maybe like a couple of others, thinking championship. Unfortunately, it has not gone as well for him this season, as there's still more traffic to deal with here for Rasmussen, and Rasmussen has gotten back around Hunter McElroy using Rasmus Lind as a pick.
So just as Hunter McElroy used the Rasmus Lind, Jamie Chadwick momentum shift as a pick to take the lead, Christian Rasmussen repays the favor, goes around the outside of the 27 Andretti car and back into the lead.
And now McElroy will work on getting past Rasmus Lind and see if he can gather it up again as we get close to the halfway points. And the point I was making on Foster is he now tries to work by Lind is after, or by Frost rather, after that season opening win, it has been tough sledding. 10th, 11th, 18th, a 5th and a 7th in there, but 11th, 14th, 16th before he recovered a bit with a 2nd at Indianapolis. So he's looking to finish the season strong. And he had a good test with Dale Coyne racing last fall, and his name last winter was in the conversation and is probably going to be in consideration next year for IndyCar again, but he'd surely like to have some momentum going into the offseason.
I continue to hear Daniel Frost's name, Christian Rasmussen, Hunter McElroy, Jacob Abel, all part of the conversations about moving up and what their roadmap into the NTT IndyCar Series looks like. That's the goal for so many, if not all of these young drivers, is to get the experience. Daniel Frost getting his win this year, starting the season with a win, carrying that momentum into an IndyCar seat. The Dale Coyne Racing team was extremely impressed with him in their car at Sebring in a test day last fall, I believe it was.
Frost has a lot of experience at this level, but is still just 21 years old. So we are official. We've hit the halfway point, and James Rowe, who was running up front at the start of this race, has just been lapped by Christian Rasmussen. So we're official at this point, and it's also looking like we got a really good chance. We should get to the finish.
Well, hopefully all those cars circulating at speed create our own weather pattern, push that radar, push those rain clouds out just a little bit.
Okay.
You guys can't see it at home, but Kevin's disbelief in his face looking at me.
I've heard the vortex theory on a racing broadcast before, so we're going to go with it, because it was very popular the last time as well.
And these Indy NXT drivers deserve all 75 laps. I can't wait. Remember, Christian Rasmussen was so fast at Iowa, but with half a lap to go, Jacob Abel came like a freight train. He had used all of his tires up. All of those slides we have seen, all that white glove correction we've seen through 1 and 2, what that does is it slides the surface of those Firestone tires, gets them hotter. As it gets hotter, they slide more, they get hotter again. and they wear and wear and wear. Now at lap 40 of 75, doesn't really matter, doesn't come into play. But in lap 70 of 75, that's when it can make big, big impacts.
On board with Jacob Abel running up in 5th, and he cannot see the leader because Christian Rasmussen is already around the bend. And after losing the lead in traffic, Rasmussen used some traffic to get back to the front, and he has taken off 4 seconds and growing on Hunter McElroy.
Daniel Frost continues to hunt that 27 car, Hunter McElroy. You know, I think the Andretti Autosport cars may be a little better in the shorter run. The HMD cars finding their feet in the long run. Definitely looked like Christian Rasmussen's number 6 was that little bit looser. The rear not as secure early on in the tire stint, but as the rubber has gone down, this race has developed. We're 43 laps in out of 75 laps now. That grip comes in, the balance starts to shift, and you end up with maybe a little more understeer, and that 6 car gets faster and faster and faster.
Georgia, tell us more about Hunter McElroy.
Absolutely, the 6 car getting faster, but Hunter McElroy, who sits in that second, he's holding back a little bit. The team was telling him conserve those tires. He's been relatively quiet over the radio. It's been a very spotter-heavy race for the Andretti cars, which is also exactly what is going on with Jamie Chadwick. They're trying to coach her. She was running her own race. She knew that Rasmussen was there, but the almost contact was not intentional at all. They were just trying to coach her, and she's just out there trying to learn, get laps, and run her own race. So between McElroy in 2nd and Jamie in 14th, the Andretti team communication playing a big role.
And remember, this is the 2nd oval race that Jamie Chadwick has ever done. She did a nice job at Iowa, finished 10th, but it's still very much a learning situation for her.
You know, and for me, I love the ovals, have had great results at Indianapolis and Texas, even done well at Iowa. This is one of those racetrack nuts I could never figure out to crack. It's a very hard track. And those drivers that are good at it, people like Connor Daly, Joseph Newgard, and Takuma Sato, when you get it and it clicks, you can be really, really good here.
And Jamie's got a run on Rasmus Lind here. Side by side. This is for position. They're both a lap down, but this is a chance to gain some confidence and some experience for Chadwick.
And even just running through 3 and 4 on the high side of Rasmus Lind there should give her some confidence, give her a little bit of faith in what the car is going to do when she gets there. She continues to try and hold on around the outside of the 51 of Jacob Abel. Does a really nice job there.
Jacob Abel like to dispatch of these cars as quickly as possible. Chadwick is going to try to take the opportunity to make a move on Rasmus Lind, and they're so close. And Abel's going to say, I've had enough of that. I'm going to back out. You sort yourselves out, and I'll get you later.
And part of that was too wide dirty air. He turned in, the front just took off on him. There's no front aerodynamic grip. Jamie Chadwick sending it into 1 and 2 on the high side.
But Lind is not ready to give up just yet. It is now clear.
Half in line, nice job.
Lind trying to come back. He's thinking about sending it.
He wasn't there, and Jamie Chadwick able to carry the momentum into the corner. We'll see, she is able to finally clear Rasmus Lind, get a little breathing room, settle back into her racetrack, her line, where that Andretti Autosport car really wants to run.
Meanwhile, the red and white car, the Abel construction car, has lost all kinds of time to Louis Foster and is going to have to be patient, which is the smart thing, running in 5th right now. And this just kind of shows you as the tire wear comes on, even faster cars have a difficult time dispatching of lap cars later in a run.
It just gets harder and harder and harder because those marbles build up off the line. You don't have any excess grip from those Firestone tires. So every pound of downforce you lose in dirty air behind another car feels like you're losing hundreds of pounds of downforce of grip. And you just can't trust it because all it takes, these drivers, these cars are on the knife edge the whole way around this Worldwide Technology Raceway here in Gateway.
Back up front, Christian Rasmussen started on pole. Qualifying did not happen because of the rain today. There was a practice session, but entrant points determined the lineup. Rasmussen gave up the lead for a bit in traffic to Hunter McElroy. but since getting it back, also with a bit of help from traffic, that gap has been solid. 4 seconds and steady for a bit. And the championship points as they run, going into today, was plus 33 for Rasmussen. Now it's back to plus 45. So that's a 20-point swing in the championship.
And when Hunter McElroy led, it was 25 points.
Yeah, that's the 20-point swing.
That's the 20-point swing. And I mean, that's a huge difference. Remember, there is a doubleheader at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, the final event weekend of the year. And no one really knows what the track's going to be like. It's been repaved as a road course, so it's kind of an unknown for a lot of these teams, drivers, even these drivers that raced there last year.
Just up ahead of Rasmussen is Christian Bogle running in 11th. Reese Gold ahead of him in 10th. And he'd like them to stay separated and not race each other as he makes his way through traffic.
I don't know that Christian Rasmussen has an overabundance of grip in his car at the moment. We've seen some big slides. There was that big wiggle just then at the exit of turn 2. I know AJ Smith, talking with Georgia earlier, was talking about conserving and saving those tires for the end of this race. And we still have 22 laps to go in this event. I don't know that Christian Rasmussen has a whole lot of extra grip to play with for these last 20-plus laps.
This might be one of those where he just kind of stays steady, and now he's really just trying to hang on to it. But maybe he may not feel like he has to get by these two immediately. Let's see if McElroy cuts into it, and just like that, McElroy has cut into it, in part because of that wiggle. So the lead is cut down in about half.
And when we get another look at this, if you can, watch where the rubber, the dark part of the pavement is. Christian's already in the second lane, and you can see that car step again, and most importantly to me, leave black marks on the asphalt. And that is leaving Firestone rubber on the track that he will desperately want on his tires at the end of the race.
Here's Ernie Francis Jr. running in the 8th position, like as his normal custom, moving forward from 12th at the start of this race. Also limited oval experience for him. He finished 8th at Iowa. Now James Rowe has brought out a yellow with contact.
That looked like the exit of turn 2, judging by the damage, just got up high. I don't think that car's limping to pit lane with that right front and the front wing pretty folded. That's a pretty big hit for James Rowe, that 29 Top Con car for Andretti Autosport.
Yeah, he's
likely
still in the
just
stretch.
Got up high, washed out, got into the safer barrier. You can see pretty big damage to the right front and a hit on the right rear as well. You know, if I'm Christian Rasmussen, okay, I lose that 2.5 second gap I had, but these are laps I don't have to run at speed. I can save my tires a lot more under yellow than I can under green flag racing.
Well, he also is going to get back clean air.
Yes, clean track. And Christian Bogle and Reese Gold stay on the lead lap. We see James Rowe at the top of the screen there, kind of middle of the corner. The car just takes off, a little bit understeer, gets up in the marbles, and once you're in the marbles, the car just takes off up to the wall.
Oh,
that is a big hit on the right front.
You know, that's what's so difficult about short track racing. If you are not having a good day, so when you're getting lapped, once one of them gets you, then you kind of got to let them all through. So you're trying to let them through, but if you let them through, you get up in the dirty track.
And if you're not having a good day, the most important thing you can do is take advantage of all the laps on offer. Continue to run laps, learn, figure out what the car needs. You may not be looking at the fastest lap of the race trying to find pace, but you may be looking to find your fastest lap of the race as the car, the tires, all of that develops. So really unfortunate end of the day for James Rowe. And especially when you're trying to hold on, you've got understeer, you think, I got it, and you hit the wall with your hands on the wheel, and it can do a lot of damage. I've lived that one. It can do a lot of damage to wrists and hands and fingers. In fact, Daniel Ricciardo in Formula One at Zandvoort this weekend, broken hand, involved in a crash, same sort of thing. The fans have been great. Look at those flapping sharks. Those are not flapping in the breeze. They are very excited to be here and seeing Indy NXT cars racing tonight.
Well, it was 103 degrees here yesterday, so 75 right now feels quite nice.
This is very pleasant.
We did not enjoy the rain today, but the cool down was very welcome.
It was an aggressive rainstorm. Very dramatic amounts of rain and hail and lightning and shelf clouds and lots of entertainment, but not so good for race cars on an oval.
Oh, we got some night racing, so that's been good for Saturday night short track racing. And tomorrow afternoon, 500 kilometers of IndyCar racing at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 local. Join us on time. We're on the air at 3:30, and the green flag is at 3:36 Eastern time. And there is a qualifying session tomorrow morning on Peacock at 11 Eastern, 10 local. New alternate tire from Firestone this weekend, first time ever on an oval, so we'll see how that plays into things. How much more quickly will it wear? How much faster might it be? Some different strategies likely in play tomorrow, so it should be fun. And some work, unfortunately, for some of the IndyCar crews. If you missed the practice session, Scott McLaughlin lost it on an out lap, and Will Power had to make a move to avoid him, smacked the wall, and then Marcus Ericsson hit him coming through. So the Power and Ericsson cars heavily damaged, and we hear Ericsson is going to a spare chassis. Let's hear radio communication on the 29 car of James Rowe, just involved in that incident.
I'm telling you, there was something wrong with it. Like, what is wrong? What is the real at all?
Obviously frustrated and disappointed with that result, understandably so. And you know, these weather conditions, it continues to cool off. Looking at the flags just outside our broadcast booth, the wind has definitely picked up. You know, I think as the track changes, it can be really easy to get outside the operating window and feel like something's wrong, and there may have been something wrong. I'll give James the benefit of the doubt there, but you can see the wind really whipping through the flags there more than earlier. They were pretty quiet earlier on, but now that all makes an impact, right? That has an effect on how the car handles, especially cars like these in the Indy cars that are so aerodynamically dependent.
So this is going to be a sprint to the finish. Right now they are reordering the lineup, so you see some lap cars rolling through the pit lane here. So lap cars move to the back of the field, so it'll be a straightforward reset. The leaders will have no traffic to deal with in front of them, at least for the restart, and potentially for the final 12, 13 laps, whatever it is that we have.
I would expect, it doesn't look like anybody's going to stop and put on fresh tires at this opportunity. With such a short lap, it's hard to do because you're not trained to do pit stops with these Indy NXT by Firestone cars, so.
Tough to stay on the lead lap.
It really is.
We're a little short on participants this weekend, but we'll have more cars next weekend at Portland and at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. 1 to go on the restart, but we're going to get Cape Motorsports back. I think we're going to see Jagger Jones back and maybe a teammate at Portland. And then Kiko Porto did a nice job. Top 10 on debut at Indianapolis and won at Circuit of the Americas today at USF Pro 2000. Kiko will be back for Cape Motorsports. We're going to see more Able Motorsports teammates. I know Yuvan Sundamoorthy is doing at least one more weekend, and Francisco Pizzo is doing at least one more weekend, and they're a sorted lineup.
Here we go, 12-lap sprint. They talked about an out-front showdown. This is going to be an out-front shootout to the end for 12 laps to go.
And the championship two are the two up front. Rasmussen points as they run, 45, but if McElray can get by him, that is a 20-point swing. He could be within 25 in the championship. Frost hasn't won since the season opener. Foster is hungry back there running in fourth, and Jacob Abel is strong on the ovals as well. Second at Iowa. What do we have going with 12 remaining? Back to green at Gateway. And Worldwide Technology Raceway. Rasmussen with a great jump. Foster has a little bit of a run on McElray. Frost trying to work on a spot as well. Abel hoping to come through, and then Siegel almost had to lock up, almost got into the back of Abel, and that's going to allow an opportunity for Brabham in that green and black car to go against another green and black car. It's Brabham on the low side. Back up front, this is 2, 3, 4 right here because Rasmussen has about a 7-car length gap.
It was exactly what Christian Rasmussen needed to do on that restart. Leap away from Hunter McElray. Hunter McElray's got his mirrors full of Daniel Frost. Daniel Frost, his mirrors full of Louis Foster down into turn 1.
Foster trying to go around the outside of Frost right now.
That car's really good on the high side. He's got the momentum. He'll pick up the draft from his teammate. Hunter McElray and Louis Foster have not seen eye to eye. Look, Hunter McElray to the inside of Christian Rasmussen into 3.
Side by side for the lead. Rasmussen hangs on to it.
2 wide behind him for 3rd. Here
Foster
comes Jacob Abel.
Let's go get him
Third
again. Don't
right
worry.
now. Abel trying to move forward on Frost. Frost still hanging on. Look how close they are.
Talk about it being a game of inches. Look how busy Daniel Frost's hands were in that cockpit as Jacob Abel goes to the low side 1 and 2. Daniel Frost to the outside in 3 and 4, trying to go the long way around.
Foster, meanwhile, has gotten by McElray for second up ahead.
Louis Foster has the best car, I think, tonight under the lights here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Abel trying to come back. This is for 4th. Oh, they're so close. They touch. And they both hang on to it. Abel goes through.
And here comes Nolan Siegel looking at Daniel Frost.
And Frost is coming back again. Almost in the wall, and he's trying to get the spot back. Inside 10 to go.
Jacob Abel's just looking for a clean exit, get a little momentum, set up, take his normal line through 1 and 2. And that's a big exit. Look at that gap, that momentum shift. Jacob Abel able to get on the power at the apex, drives away from Daniel Frost. Back up front, Louis Foster trying to hunt down Christian Rasmussen. We got 8 to go.
And Rasmussen is up by at least 10 car lengths at this point, about the same, maybe less than that. I'd call that more like 7 or 8 car lengths. Same gap, approximately, maybe a bit more to McElray. And then let's keep an eye on this. Foster seems to have some momentum. We'll double box it and see how close it was. Yep,
That was
more than just close.
That was rubbing in his race. Again, I'm going to say in open wheel cars, you cannot get away with that. They crashed, they just didn't hit the wall.
And Rasmussen now 6 laps away from win number 4 on the season. Not going to say he's safe in the championship because there are 2 more weekends, but 3 more races. Portland plus a doubleheader at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, but he's going to feel pretty good.
And I think if he looks back on the year, there are definitely some opportunities missed. He should have a larger points lead as they come to the 5 to go sign from the flag stand. But he's doing what he needs to now. He withstood that pressure from Hunter McElray on the restart, retook the lead after some traffic and momentum. He's running really good lap times and managing a gap back to Louis Foster in second. With Hunter McElray sliding back to 3rd, the points differential is up to 50 points now.
And points are the same as IndyCar now, so that's essentially a full race minus the bonus points. So that's the gap, a full race advantage that Rasmussen would have with 3 races remaining. We'll peek at Ernie Francis Jr. Working on Matthew Brabham, seeing if he can pick up another position. And there's the lead 2. Foster is still somewhat in play, but it's going to take major difficulties with Rasmussen. So what's he thinking at this point? Knowing the gap is a second, how conservative can you be, if at all?
Man, he has been on the edge. That's been a really good car, but Louis Foster has been really good on the high side all night long. If I'm Christian Rasmussen, I'm still pushing 3 to go. Maybe not 10 tenths, but 9.9 tenths.
Christian Rasmussen has 5 career wins as we ride on board with Jacob Abel in 4th. Won a couple last year with Andretti as a rookie. Made the move to HMD Motorsports for this season, looking for a championship, looking for a scholarship to help get him to IndyCar next season. Worth, all things considered, over $800,000 with some testing included. And there are teams interested in Christian Rasmussen, who's won a USF 2000 championship, who's won a USF Pro 2000 championship, and has a chance to get an Indy NXT by Firestone title this year. He's less than 2 laps away from win number 4 of the season. Rasmussen sees the white flag, 1.25 miles to go.
White flag here, white flag.
He had his hands full on the white flag lap at Iowa, but he's got almost a 2-second lead over Louis Foster in 2nd. Just runs clean through 3 and 4 and brings it home for another victory.
Traffic put it in doubt for a bit, lost the lead, gathered it back up. A late race caution, restart, no issues. Christian Rasmussen, final corner. Rasmussen, a winner again. Number 4 in 23 and a major step towards IndyCar and a scholarship. Christian Rasmussen wins in St. Louis.
A really poised drive by Christian Rasmussen, losing the lead, getting it back, withstanding the restart pressure from Hunter McElroy, coming away, leaving Worldwide Technology Raceway with a 50-point lead in the championship. And a great restart from Louis Foster. Took advantage, got by Hunter McElroy, takes some points away from his teammate in the championship, and brings home another 2nd. Gets good racing experience on an oval.
Good result again for Jacob Abel, who continues his recent momentum, coming home in 4th. So Abel in his last 4 starts, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 4th. And also has a 2nd and 6th going back since late June. Abel is now 3rd in the championship, moves up a spot on Nolan Siegel. Here is how they finished.
Christian Rasmussen.
Nighttime race.
They waited all day to do 75 laps under the lights here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. A really poised and mature race win for Christian Rasmussen. Louis Foster showing that speed that got him the Pro 2000 Championship scholarship and moving up to the Indy NXT Series. Hunter McElroy consolidating a little bit with his 3rd place and podium finish today.
3 to go after this weekend. And not much time. Next weekend in Portland, and then WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Championships to be crowned in the lower levels next weekend as well for USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. Rasmussen is already a champion and a scholarship winner at those levels, and he's that much closer to a win at the top step now of the IndyCar ladder. Georgia, Christian Rasmussen has won again.
Christian Rasmussen victorious again, and this time on the oval of Worldwide Technology Raceway. He now leaves this racetrack 50 points ahead in the championship, and you can see the emotion on his face. Christian, you had the lead and you lost it for a minute, but then you got it right back. How were you able to do that?
No, I mean, wow, what a race, what a race. Thank you so much to HMD, everyone that's been part of getting me here. It's been kind of a weird weekend, you know. I think it's definitely the weekend of my career where I've had the least amount of laps around the track before we go into the racing. So it's really about figuring out quick, and I think we did a great job in practice. Obviously, we were super quick, but we were super sharp on the changes that we made as well. So the car was super good. Yeah, Hunter got past me there for a second. We both had to get by an Andretti car, and then obviously the Andretti car gets a little bit of an easier time around, but it's okay. I got it back and just kind of manage it from there, you know. I knew that I didn't want to push too much. I kind of learned that lesson in Iowa. And I think we did a great job of that today, you know, just managing the tires, making sure that we had enough at the end, and as you could see, I was kind of pulling away at the end. So I think we did a great job today. I'm very happy. We're extending the championship lead. We're going into the last 3 races, brimming with confidence, and I'm just happy.
You are now 50 points up in the championship. So what does that do to raise your confidence even more heading to the West Coast?
Oh, it's awesome. It's such a confidence booster for sure, you know. But we've been so strong all season, you know. Obviously, 2 oval wins this year. Absolutely dominant. We've been winning on street circuits. We've been winning on road courses. We've been winning everywhere. So it's it's awesome. You know, I feel super good for the West Coast. I know should be some strong tracks for us as well, and yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say.
Christian Rasmussen victorious once again in the Indy NXT by Firestone.
So we know the championship advantage is 50 at this point. Where do the rest stack up? Jacob Abel and Nolan Siegel still in play, but it is going to take some really bad luck for Rasmussen and strong results, almost sweeping the finish of the season for either one of those.
And both Hunter McElroy and Jacob Abel struggled, or all 3 of those cars really struggled at Portland. But Christian Rasmussen, a second and a win in the 2 races at WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna last year, excuse me.
Well, it's been a good day. We were patient, and I think we were rewarded with some activity tonight. And we can do it again tomorrow with IndyCar qualifying at 11 Eastern. Silver Crown is here in the area too, and it should be good weather for IndyCar. 3:30 Eastern on NBC, 3:36 green flag, an eventful night in Indy NXT by Firestone. Congratulations. Championship leader Christian Rasmussen wins again. For Georgia Henneberry and Charlie Kimball, I'm Kevin Lee. Have a good night, everybody.